Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Realnesss with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, here with Matthew to talk about the Challenge All-Stars Season 5 Rivals premiere episode. Matthew, what are your overall thoughts? How are you doing?
It's the moment I've been waiting 6 months for. Ever since the cast flew out, I just got super hyped, and I mean, I, I've allowed myself to just like I've spent the last 2 months, I would say, just waiting for this moment, and it did not disappoint for me. I was thoroughly enjoying everything. I was lucky that like I didn't watch it on MTV because on Slice it did air like F-bombs, like they were cursing all throughout the episode. So I'm curious from the chat if whoever watched it on MTV, were they dropping F-bombs there as well? I'm guessing no, but Slice here in Canada was airing it as if it was All Stars, which was my one worry. And if this is going to be the case all season, I am very, very happy because it doesn't seem like they'll be editing out drama at all.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it was on MTV, which was great. Other than
Yeah.
the fact that we don't usually have commercial breaks on the Challenge All Stars, but other than that, like the pace of it, the style of it, it very much felt like regular the Challenge on a streaming platform. I didn't feel like anything was taken away. So yeah, okay. Dolores here is saying that it was bomb free. So no F bombs. Wow.
Ah, okay. So it was a little bit edited then. I wouldn't, and I wouldn't say like the like F-bombs were overdoing it by any means, but the thing I love about All Stars is like you get to
So
hear
real.
people in confessionals like be more real. And based on the preview we got on Slice as well, it seems like there's going to be a lot more of that, a lot of fighting, a lot of anger. So for those that watch it on MTV, I would recommend try to watch it on Slice if you can. I don't know if Slice is even a thing in the US, but
Probably not. They'd have to probably know somebody that has the a streaming platform that had it, and then because like it's not like like I don't actually hold on. Let's see what Slice.ca looks like.
I do know that when they release the episode the next day onto
They'll
streaming
edit it.
stuff, yeah, they'll keep the uncensored version in. So it's just really MTV Live where you don't get the uncensored. So if people want the uncensored version, yeah, I would recommend like trying to find Slice because I was really glad that I waited the hour to watch it there.
I mean, I definitely didn't like. I wanted to watch it at 8 for the fact that I couldn't be able to go on Twitter and like everybody's just was starting to blow up with all their live tweets and live commentary, and so I was like, I hate the feeling of avoiding social media. But to your point, I definitely liked not seeing an edited version, like what was intended for a streaming platform. It seems like we're getting, and I'm definitely happy about that. So I think I'll take the trade off. I'll take unedited over me having like avoiding spoilers on social media.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I'm hoping Slice will just air it at 8 p.m. moving forward because a few weeks like when they were airing 40 in January, the first episode they aired like hours late, but then the subsequent episodes they started airing at the normal time. So I'm hoping Slice will just start airing it at 8 and then it would be perfect.
if it aired at 8, it actually would be perfect because we were so worried about like not being able to find the show, or just like having to wait till the next day, or even before when it was season 40, it was on Much Music and that was airing at 4 a.m. Like it would just look like it was going to be more complicated. But if Slice just picked it up and just airs it at the proper time slot, like we're at perfection here. For it doesn't feel like it's on MTV, which is not really. And yeah, I'm happy. This was good. Dabu says, yeah, but when Turbo and Nany truly explode, those F bombs make a difference in storytelling.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it did. there was other ones too. Like I think like Katie had a couple F-bombs, or maybe that was in the preview, but yeah, I mean, with the people they have on here, like John A talking about Beth, like you want to hear John A's like full, like honest opinions on things. And if you have to edit out her cursing, it like you don't get that same feel. So yeah, I definitely think like the uncensored does make a difference.
It's like cursing still a thing. Like it's so funny that that it's like, oh my gosh, he swore. Like even YouTube, they recommend that you don't swear at the beginning of their video because you don't want it to be flagged and be deemed inappropriate. I'm like, oh my god, ooh, an F bomb. Like it's just so wild that we still care. Sophie says this was a great episode, even though it involves your least favorite thing, or my least favorite thing for sure, is a non-elimination episode. I could have taken a double episode here. How do you feel?
Yeah, I didn't mind necessarily that there wasn't an elimination, but I would have preferred a 2 hour episode tonight with an elimination. But with it only being 1 hour, I was okay with how it unfolded. And if I remember correctly, I think All Stars 4 was also, it ended with the stars like being given out and there was no elimination as well. So I guess with the smaller cast and the shorter episode runtime, maybe it's something they'll do. I didn't really mind it. But yeah, I agree. Like I would have preferred a longer episode and an elimination.
I mean, maybe they're doing like, let's keep them wanting more, make them excited for the next episode, which I am. So that's worked. But I do like just my own nature to enjoy a full story. So I loved the pace of this episode. I loved everything about it. Everything was about it. I just would have liked it to have continued into a well-paced second half and have a double episode this time around and just tell the full story of episode 1. I just feel like, okay, I don't even actually fully understand the format. Maybe you can double or just confirm with me as to what it is. So this sets the pace kind of of the season where these 4 couples have their stars and now they will have to defend their stars. Now for the elimination portion, are the star holders the one that are going to be choosing the other people? Did they explain that?
No, I believe it's going to be similar to last season. My guess and my expectation is that next week there's just going to be a daily, a normal daily, and the winning team of the daily will select someone to go in. We'll see how the teams get selected, but I imagine next week will just be a normal daily, and the people with stars are gonna they're gonna be like vulnerable to having their stars stolen based off who wins the elimination. That's
All
my
right, and then the winner of
prediction.
the elimination, if they're star holders, they're protecting their stars. If they do not win the elimination, their stars are unprotected, and the person in them could potentially call them
Yeah,
in.
I'm that my guess is it's going to be very similar to last season in that regard. And yeah, there's going to be stealing of stars throughout where the pairs will steal from one of the 4 teams with a star.
Hi, Sophie. I'm not 100% sure why she wasn't there, but I was watching Davon's first impressions of the cast on her channel, and she said that she had another commitment that just conflicted, so she just had to show up a little bit later. So yeah, it's just a commitment, timing, scheduling, that type of thing. She also said when she was at the airport, she heard that Ashley Mitchell's name was over the speaker. They're trying to flag her to get her to come to the counter at the gate, and she never ended up showing up. So I wonder if she missed a flight or was on a different flight, but they were paging her apparently at one of the airports when they're waiting to go to Vietnam. So they're all like, oh my God, that means Ashley's there? Like they figured out that it was going to be a rivals type season before they actually got in front of TJ. Yes, Dabu, that's true. And cursing does mean that you're a traitor, according to Derek Lavasser. Bloody Money wants to know. Say again?
We have a lot of traders on this cast in that case.
I love a good traitor then. Bloody Money says, have we seen what's is to come? All Stars 5 rivals at the end of the episode. Absolutely. I loved it. Did you love it? You must have.
Yeah, I mean, this is I've been waiting years for this. It's like I do like the other All-Star seasons, but like don't I don't think any of the other All-Star seasons like had these type of personalities. Like it was more like the other ones have been like very nostalgic, and there have been like big personalities coming and going. Like we've had like Trishelle was there for a minute, like Tina's been there, but this one is just like jam-packed where like the 10th and 12th like biggest personality is still like super chaotic and entertaining. Um, so yeah, I'm really excited for a lot of people on this cast, and some people really impressed me tonight that I just was completely surprised by too. So
Can't wait
there's
to
like
hear
very few
that.
duds for me.
How do you feel about your team? So you have Ashley, Veronica, Turbo, Amber, Leroy, and Sam.
Well, I mean, I definitely feel really good about Turbo after tonight. I think like they were the focal point, Turbo and Nany of the episode, and it seems like they're gonna be pretty prominent throughout the season. So I feel good about them. And then I like my team. I mean, Sam did not impress too much in the challenge, but I think we all kind of saw that coming. Um, but yeah, I feel good about my team so far.
I'm also feeling better about my team as well. I think that um not to jump ahead, but with Ashley and Dario, like maybe they're not going to be a layup team, like we were saying that we thought they might just slide to the middle, and maybe because people might perceive them as weaker, they might have to defend their star early. But I thought that was a good showing for them this first episode. Do you know if the stats are up yet on like Reddit for confessional accounts or anything like that?
I think Will from America usually like posts them at some point, like the same night or the next day. So I don't know if they're up yet, but I will say about Ashley and Dario, that is kind of who I was referring to when I said there were some people that I like didn't really care that much about that really like surprised me in a good way. I thought they were really fun. I thought I'm like here for their kind of dynamic where it's like the will they won't they again, and there's like this like a little bit of like an awkward like sexual tension.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
so
they're
I'm
not
curious
even
to see how
making
it
it
goes.
like discreet with the porn music that they're playing whenever they're talking about each other or the challenge. So
Yeah, like I have a feeling that I believe they're both single now. So I have a feeling there's gonna be like some will they won't they throughout the season. And they did good in I mean they came top four in the challenge too. So if they're gonna be able to perform and like provide what they provided tonight, I think it's like the fact that they were kind of like the 10th to 12th team in like all of our rankings and they provided what they did bodes super well for the season. Because if we can just get anything out of those two, this season will be like an all-timer.
well, and Ashley has been on Twitter quite a lot, saying like this was fun, this was a good time, like. So it seems like either she rekindles something with him, or they do well together, or both. But her reaction to it, she was really glad that she came back onto All Stars, and so that doesn't seem like a team that gets thrown in all the time, or that has like a shitty experience because everybody's ganging up on them. So that could also bode well for us entertainment wise. Yay.
Mhm.
So pumped, so pumped. I decided on a team name. Tell me what you think. Team uh wait, Paul, I forgot. Fit Mess. Team Fit Mess. Because they're fit and they're messy.
Like it.
No? that
All
wasn't that
right, solid.
enthusiastic.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, girls is what? Millionaire Mean Girls. Got the alliteration in there. We got Throwing Noodles, the cleanups, and Team Fit Mess. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it. What do you guys think in the chat? I came up with that one on my own, but then I also did go to Chat GPT to see if they had any good ideas. None of them were good. It was like MTV Mayhem, The Spicy Six, Calculated Carnage, Elite Underdogs, Rival Royalty, Agents of Chaos. I actually kind of like that one. Yeah, those were some of the ones that ChatGPT came up with. I told them yours and like all of your guys's, and you're like, your co-host came up with some amazing team names. But yeah, so I Messy Fits is good too. Fit mess, Messy Fits. I'll do a poll maybe. All right, so let's talk about this episode. I was kind of confused. Did it just start with Bananas stealing the money from Sarah and then right into Ashley taking the money from Hunter? Did it just start right with that? Because I felt like it was kind of a cold open with like two people that weren't on the season. I was a little bit confused there.
Yeah, they did do like a bit of a montage of like people that that were not on this season as well, which I did think was like a little bit confusing too. But yeah, I guess that was the kind of first thing that they
Okay.
showed. There were like some clips here and there, but
Well, I turned it on to Slice at 9 o'clock, and it just was on like Bananas and Sarah, and I was like, "Is this what's happening here? Did they get it wrong? Is it like showing an old season?" But no, that's how it started. Did you like TJ coming in on his motorcycle?
yeah, it was cool.
I do like TJ. I like him playing this role. He has this voiceover while you see the clips of the different scenes from past, and I really felt that they're making the show look good. They're making the rivalry look good. Like I thought that they did a really good editing job at the beginning of this with getting me hyped. Yes, I will always love when he gets to ride a bike as well, especially since he used to be such a, talented bike rider. So it's been 12 years since our guy Frank has been on the show. He says that he used to be a competitive demon. Maybe his team should be called the Competitive Demons. Do you agree with that take on Shane or on Frank's original personality or persona?
Yes, very much so. I think that was the perfect way to describe himself. Uh, a guy that is like pound for pound, like one of the best competitors the show has seen. He's only done 3 seasons, but really only 2 seasons. But he is like an awesome competitor, and like he was so unhinged back in the day, like taking low blows too. Like a lot of it was just like very much below the belt, but he was like getting into it with everyone, guys and girls, and his own team. So I think that's the perfect description for him. And I get the vibe that like he wants to change, but I think there's still some of that in him based
It
on the
is
preview.
like bubbling underneath the surface because he
Yeah.
talks about he has a husband and his puppy. He has a doctorate in physical therapy, and so he's definitely turned a new leaf, we'll say. But he's being put back in an environment where he wants to win and he wants to be competitive, and it's very different from his regular life. And so I can see the competitive demon research being resurrected here. Um, and it's going to be kind of fun seeing him try to hold it down, but eventually it's going to pop. He's going to blow.
Yeah,
Definitely.
for sure. Yeah, in the preview, it seemed like he was getting into it with a number of different people too, and I think like he's like wants to like he wants to be like that like kumbaya, but at the end of the day, like when someone like comes at him or his people, I think he'll definitely lose it, and that I'm excited for that. Frank too. He's like a very good strategist as well, so I think he is like the full package here.
Sinani says it's crazy how much of a mainstay Frank feels like only doing 2 full seasons. Absolutely. Like, I feel like he's like a bananas level of been here like a gazillion times, but no,
Yeah, I would have loved for Frank to be on 40 too. I think that would have been awesome.
he would have been great. Would we air at 2, 3, 2?
Three, yeah.
Who'd we take
Yeah, he would have
out?
been era 3. Give him Tony's spot, I guess.
Yeah,
Like I like Tony, and like Tony was good in his
he didn't
3 episodes, but like Frank would
enough.
have wanted to be there more. So
Sinani says Frank is big man. He knows he can't win. He came trained and ready, and Sam came to Kiki. Yeah, he's gonna be pissed. He's gonna blow. Nany
Yeah,
has done.
you know,
Go ahead.
it's a little strange, like some of these like big returns, they're like back, but their partner is like someone that they just can't win with. Like Frank, it's like Frank is one of the biggest returns here, and he's just like given a partner that is not going to compete. And I mean, all due respect to Anissa, like Ashley's return here is like pretty big, and it's like, all right, well, Ashley we know is capable of winning, but like we're gonna throw her with Anissa. No, they're not gonna win. So I'm a little surprised that production like decided to go that route, but I don't know what the other options was. Like I think like you could have put Frank with Nany, but like I
Nany and
think
Frank
Nany
would
and
be great.
Turbo is yeah, Nany and Turbo is just too juicy. I mean, they could have if they wanted to bring Zach back, they could have put Zach with Frank, and that would have been dominant. But I don't know if they are ready for Zach yet.
Debbie says Frank is going to do Sam like Jordan did Anissa in the Ride or Die final. Just watch. I
Yeah.
believe.
If they
I
make
believe.
yeah, well, if they make it that far, they could be in trouble if they're in an elimination, I think. And Sam could ruin it for Frank before the final. That would not
Oh,
surprise me.
that would just really hurt my heart. Like I want to see him on the show for longer. I am worried though about his partnership. Sophie says Brad and Nany never did a season together. That's a fact that they saw online today.
Yeah,
Wow.
I saw that too. And I there was one about Nany and someone else, like Nany, someone else that had done a boatload of seasons that Nany hadn't done one with. But yeah, Nany and Brad never did a season. It's weird.
I guess they were trading off like the time that they were on. Like that is wild.
I
Definitely.
think it was Nany and Veronica never did a season together until Ride or Dies. And then they were on the season for like one episode together. But that was like I thought was weird too, because they've both done 10 plus seasons. Um, so yeah, it's weird. Nany has taken a lot of big breaks.
That's yeah, it's true. Like good, like 6, 7 year breaks kind of thing. But she has done 14 seasons. I love the "You Don't Mess with Nany" montage. Everybody talking about cup of soups in her face. Nany with Anissa there, and a lot of other people saying that like Nany will pop off, which was exciting to see. And it looks like we are going to get that Nany this season. Like I know they showed a little bit about her and Casey and how they're, she's looking to plan a wedding and plan a family with her. It's interesting that it starts off this way and they've just broken up officially. I wonder if we will see more about what's going on with the relationship. What do you think? Do you think
I
what if
don't think I don't think so. I yeah, I feel like it's I don't think there's going to be a big storyline with like Nany in that regard. I do think we'll see like some drama from Nany, but more so with Turbo. I don't like buy into like any sort of like cheating rumors. I'd be really surprised to be honest.
the pop-up queen has returned? God bless. Yes, God bless. We are so lucky. Um, but we get Turbo really, really upset with Nany still. Like this is before they know that they're partners, talking about the fact that she stabbed him in the back so badly. And coming back to the season, if Nany's there, he wants to take revenge on Nany. How do you feel about Turbo being so bitter and upset and still like so mad at Nany? I mean, it's gonna make
I
for good
love it.
TV, but
I mean, well, my problem with most of these other seasons are people that get done wrong, and then the next season they like hold hands to the end, and they don't I like a petty king or queen. So if I mean, obviously Turbo's partners with her, but if he wasn't and he was going to go after her, I think that would be awesome.
it would be not awesome. I do feel bad for Nani because he just it takes him so long to get over something, or he just won't. So as a partnership, yeah, it's gonna be frustrating for her. As a viewer, it'll probably be decently entertaining. If we don't get frustrated. But yeah, you're right that people like we didn't get to see the fruits of the Kara and Tori grudge and rivalry or whatever they had going on. Like we never got to see that play out, which kind of was a waste of them both being cast. Dario is just throwing jabs at the cast, saying that they're all old and they're all in their from the 1940s. The producers, the editors, even decided to make it look like a 1940s film just to rub it in their faces. You're smiling. You enjoyed Dario's
Well, I thought it was funny
confessionals.
because, like, when he said that, I was thinking, like, wait, this cast isn't even that old. There's
Oh,
only like a few people. I mean, there's a couple people. Beth is in her 50s, but how many people are even in their 40s on this cast?
I
Probably
guess
like six
Veronica,
or seven. Yeah,
um,
I Katie,
Katie,
um, Shane, Adam, Steve.
Shane, maybe not, but Adam, Steve, yes.
Oh, Shane's got to be because Shane's been around since Era One.
Shane the challenge. Let's see. Let's see how. Yes, he's 41, born in 1983.
Yeah, so there's like a handful of people, but like this All Stars is like a pretty even mix. So yeah, I thought it was funny that Dario said that. Like Dario is probably on the older half of the cast. Um, so yeah, I mean it was funny, but it was kind of misplaced.
It was funny. I'm hoping that Dario is going to just be like at least having a lot of confessionals because we thought that him and Ashley wouldn't have any sort of anything, and he's even poking fun at them, jabs at them. So I'm here for it because well, he's on my team, but Ashley is, and so hopefully this is going to bode well for my team getting confessional points. Ashley Millionaire Mitchell is how TJ is referring to her. You were already saying that you saw this in, I guess, one of the previews, and so yeah, you were happy to see her back on your screen and TJ acknowledging her. I'm assuming,
Yeah.
and she's she's coming for Kelly. Wait, and she's one of the most money out of all the women on any season, which I think is also pretty badass. Considering we just had another season of two winners, and they're not like maybe halfway to where she is. Like Jenny's won what, like 750,000 or thousand, and she's won what, like 1 point something million.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what she won on her first win, probably like 250K. But yeah, Ashley's won like at least like 1.25 mil. And I don't think any other woman is even close to that, to be honest. I don't even know who
Yeah,
the
no.
second woman would be.
Most for any person. I think there's some
No, I
guys that are
think
up there,
yeah, I think
like
Jordan has
Jordan,
passed for
Bananas,
sure.
CT are all
I think
around there
Ashley's ahead
anyways.
of Bananas,
Possible.
but I think CT is ahead. I think CT and Jordan are one and two. Jordan's one and CT's two.
Yeah, most of
Yeah,
the women,
she's the
but
most women.
nobody's close though, really, out of the women. I don't we're saying. We got
I'd probably
moms on
guess
the
the
loose.
second for the women is probably Jenny. If I had to guess, just because she's won two recent seasons, and Rachel probably didn't win that much in her first two. So yeah, it's probably Jenny second.
And then probably what, Casey?
Well, Casey only won one. Um,
Oh no, they probably like Amber. Because Casey gave a bit of her money away.
yeah, it could be Amber.
I'll see if I can pull up the list of the money. So we got moms on the loose, which is talking about, they didn't mention all the moms though, right? Which moms did TJ mention there? He said
Uh,
Sylvia,
Sylvia
Ashley, and then
and
Melissa was
Amber.
like, "Hey, me." Oh, yeah, and Amber. So you mentioned Ashley, didn't mention Melissa. Did he just not know?
No, I think he was just mentioning like the recent moms, like that had just become moms. Because obviously there was a bunch of others, like John A. Beth, are moms as well. So I think he was just referring to the
Oh,
two like
new.
very
Oh,
recent ones.
new. Okay, sorry. Okay, fine. Okay, so Jolie Luke here says Jordan's at 1.5, Bananas is 1.2, CT's at 1.1, Ashley's at 1.1, just under CT. Turbo, we forgot about Turbo, right, with his 750K. Jenny is then next, and then Cara
Oh,
Maria.
Kara, that makes sense.
I forgot about
Yeah.
Cara.
Oh, I was right about Jenny, so that was a good guess by me. But totally forgot about Kara. I was thinking Rachel. I'm like, no, well, that makes sense. Kara's won more recently.
Yeah,
Laurel's probably won more money than Rachel, to be honest.
yeah, probably because there's the bigger prize money in these later seasons for sure. And so Sylvia is coming for Kellyanne. Now, do you think that they're inflating this beef a little bit?
I think they really don't like each other.
I mean, I feel like what went down wasn't that big of a deal, but I guess we do see the preview that Kellyanne holds grudges, and Sylvia knows this. But I know that you enjoy the friction, but do you think they'll be able to work through it?
No, I don't. I don't think they'll be able to work well together, and I don't think they're necessarily like the strongest team either. So I do worry about them, but yeah, I mean, for as long as they're there, like I do think it's going to be dramatic, as Kellyanne is not going to be the one to apologize. So I think they'll go at it for a little while.
Definitely agree. So Beth is doing great. She's ready to go. And then we get the confessional of her trying to ruin Janae's life. Now, they brought it back up. So, like, I guess it gives us a little bit of the opportunity to speak about that situation. But do you think that there was some truth to it? Because she does mention later on the episode that she went to counseling. Do you think it was around Beth saying this? Or was there something that was actually going on and that's what they were going to, counseling for? What do you like? I'm just trying to figure out what actually went on. Like, Beth didn't necessarily ruin her life. Even Beth kind of says that, but she did bring up something that was, I don't know if it was true or not.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. I mean, I hope not. I think like I agreed with what Shane said a little bit later on, where in his confessional, where he's like, the reason why like everyone hates Beth is because she like doesn't know how to like separate like game from personal, and she brings the personal into the game. So yeah, I mean, I think like regardless of if anything happened, like there was no reason for Beth to say anything. And then also, I personally think like Beth probably just like heard rumors through like social media and then came on the show and like used those rumors to try to like disrupt the game. So, I mean, I lean towards probably not, but I mean, I could definitely see like rumors of infidelity like causing friction in the marriage regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah.
Jolie thinks that basically she admitted that she did cheat and that Beth aired it out. I didn't think she admitted that specifically, but yeah, that's kind of what I was kind of like. Did she? Didn't she? What do you guys think? So we still don't really know necessarily. Um, Beth does always do too much. It's true. Um, Sudani has a good point here. Beth didn't just spread rumors; she was also mispronouncing her name, which is low key racist. She was doing too much. Yeah, I think that to me that was worse than her. Like, if there wasn't any truth around the MJ thing, then I would definitely say that this was worse. Um, because they weren't friends. So on a show saying something like that is not a big deal. But I think that or shouldn't be that big of a deal because they're not friends in the game. Why are you, if there's something going on, like why are you? I don't know. What is your thoughts on that? Do you think that if you're not friends on the game and they're doing something that you believe to be nefarious and you say it on camera, do you think that's free reign or do you think that's a low blow?
If they're not friends,
Not friends and are actually like fighting.
I mean, it's like hard because like the whole like expression is like all's fair in love, war, and challenges. So like personally, like I just don't really like when they bring like the like families into the game. Like that's
Fair.
like the kind of stuff I don't like. I mean, we saw it with Bananas, like even just bringing up like Devin's dad back in the day, like 6, 7 years ago after his dad passed away, and like it was like a really like tough situation because Devin was like instigating this fight with Bananas, And then Bananas just like takes it so low. And we saw it on 40 with Laurel and Kara, where they didn't even air what Laurel was saying because like allegedly it was so bad. And Laurel's bringing up like past trauma of Kara's. So it's like it's hard to like for me, I guess like if they're doing something like for game, I guess it's one thing, but I personally just don't really love that. Yeah, when there's like children, like spouses that are not involved in this universe that get looped into it, I do think it's like shitty. Um, but I mean, it happens every few seasons. Like something like that will go down, and it is kind of like par of the course right now. I don't personally love it though.
Even the drama of it all, just because it's too much of a low blow.
Yeah, it's just like dark drama. Like I don't like. I really didn't like when Bananas went after Devin.
No,
Then
no, no.
I didn't like the Beth stuff. I didn't like the Laurel stuff. And like, yeah, there's people fighting, and it's like it is like a
Yeah.
big TV moment, but it's just like a little too dark.
Yeah, I definitely right is can be considered too far. I guess with the specifically with the Janae and Beth of it all, I remember thinking that myself, and so I didn't really think like how she was doing it. I guess was a little bit more sinister, but like I remember just being like, I don't. I think that something's going on between her and MJ, and like with her getting her braiding his hair and all this stuff, and then they're winning and they're like best friends. Like I just remember thinking it, and so I guess that's probably why. Well, do you know what though? I probably wouldn't have said anything though on camera, even if I didn't like her. Yeah, I don't think I would in reality. Anyways, how far is too far when children get involved, I guess, or like family, people that can't defend themselves in the situation. Okay, so we see Steve coming down to speak to TJ. I actually really like the logo of the challenge All Stars Rivals. I think it looks really good. It looks really chic. Um, so it's because of these Adam star getting stolen. Um, and Steve doesn't fist bump, or wait, who didn't fist bump who? Adam didn't. No, Steve didn't fist bump Adam when he came down to be his partner. How'd you feel about that?
Well, it was Steve tried to fist bump Adam, and Adam like brushed him off. Uh,
It was that
but
way. Okay, I couldn't remember which way it was.
I uh I really like their dynamic too. Like that's another one where like coming into it, like I kind of like I thought Adam was fun last season. I thought Steve was like quirky but like kind of boring. But I do really like their dynamic here, and I think like they could like butt heads but also work very well together. I mean, we already saw it in one episode. So I think Adam is really good TV, and I think Adam is going to bring good TV out of Steve too.
Sudanna says it's funny that how Steve just doesn't care. Steve doesn't even regret stealing the star. I mean, I think that they're gonna end up being friends after this. Like they're too old, I think, to hold a grudge over a star, right?
Yeah, everything I've heard about Steve is like Steve is like a very emotional guy. Like he's very sensitive. So I I could definitely see like there being some rough patches along the way, but I do think like if they can just keep performing well, that it will ultimately lead to friendship.
Why would he regret it? What did he say that they might have both been able to get to the finals and potentially win it if they're both in it? But or the fact that it's ruined their friendship, right? They've been on the show since they were like 20 years old, and so that friendship is gone. So that could be where regret could come. Frank and Sam are partnered up. We didn't really get much about that. We kind of just saw like a flashback of their friendship or relationship. Ashley K and Dario. They haven't spoken in 6 years. Dario says she's still hot. They both are still into each other, which definitely is fun. You already alluded to enjoying this couple, but how did you like seeing them first see each other and realizing that they're going to be paired together for this season?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's going to be like a fun storyline where there is like some sexual tension there. So, I was yeah definitely here for it.
How did you feel about Ashley M learning that her partner is Anissa? Did you feel like not like $1 million like she did?
Yeah, I thought that was funny, and even TJ thought it was funny. Like, he was laughing, like he was laughing at them as well. So, I mean, even Anissa was surprised her partner was Ashley because like she knows as well as anyone else. Like, it makes no sense. They've both been on the show so many seasons and could have had so many other options, and for some reason they're partnered. So Anissa looked surprised. Ashley did not seem too happy about it, and everyone else seemed to think it was pretty funny. TJ
I
was
wonder if
laughing,
this is
Shane was
just like
laughing.
the producers lightly this sort of punishment to come back into the show. It's like, okay, here's this. Okay, you've had a little bit of a hiatus. Now you're gonna have to take one for the team and be partnered with Anissa in order to get back in her good books.
Yeah, maybe.
Sylvia and Kellyanne learn their partners. I did like Sylvia telling Kellyanne to eat shit with a side of gluten. Funny line.
Hmm.
when Kellyanne was very excited about her win on that season. Yeah, they're definitely not friends, but that was a good line, Sylvia. Nicole and Melissa are partnered up. They're kind of a weird partnership. Obviously, Nicole is salty about the fact that Melissa befriended Laurel and they took some photos together or whatnot. Um, they're not really that much of a rival. Do you think there could be a better rival for, well, for Melissa, it could be Corey or a couple other people. But what about for Nicole, not Laurel?
Well, I mean, I think her best rival would be Raven. I think that would have been really fun.
Oh my God, yeah.
Um, and for Nicole,
I think Raven's too
yeah,
young though.
definitely.
She's like 20, like 24.
Um, yeah, but I mean, like they have like some of these newer people on. I would have loved to see Raven on here. Um, Nicole, I mean, you could have put her with Kara if Kara was wanting to do this again, but I don't know who else Nicole really could have been with.
Debu, I don't think they're ever going to address it.
Now,
We'll
I think
never
it was
know.
kind of yeah, it's kind of similar to like the Jordan when like they took Jordan out for a couple seasons, then they brought him back in, also with Anissa, coincidentally.
So
But
that's it could be like to get back at their good book punishment.
Yeah, I honestly doubt they'll ever bring up like why Ashley was gone, unless like she's on a season with Josh, and then they have like they have like some sort of conversation and make amends.
Sophie says another sexual tension pair between Nicole and Melissa. There might be a little bit going on there. Sudani has a fun fact here that Leroy is the only challenger to have been on every Rivals season. Didn't know this. Melissa and Kayla. I
Oh,
don't
that would
remember
have been
their
good
fight.
too. Yeah, they got in a physical fight and they both got kicked out of the game.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
on I remember I can see it. I can picture it. I don't remember the season.
yeah, I think it
That's
was
the one
final
where
reaction
they were
or
saying
Vendetta.
that Bananas kissed Kaylee. Was that season? And they
I think
threw
so.
like
Yeah.
Kayla's mattress over the railing,
No,
right?
that what was the following season because I think Kayla was with Kaylee. And then Melissa was with Cam, and then Cam and Kaylee ended up being partners after they both got kicked off.
Right. This would be fun. Final record. I think I need to
Yeah,
watch some
final.
seasons again. Jolie can't remember why Jordan was removed. Was he being
Well, he like
racist?
no, it was just like when all the when like the D stuff was happening, and it was like the Black Lives Matter movement, and people were like pulling up like the old clips of Jordan,
Oh, okay.
and like they were basically like tagging MTV and Buna Murray saying like, well, why are you kicking XYZ off? But like Jordan is still here. And like, I mean, we all know it was like 10 years prior, but I think after that happened, they like put Jordan on a bit of timeout just to like get people to kind of stop talking about him. And then they brought him back like 2, 3 years later.
AK says wants to know if they think that we should have paired up Ashley Josh is busy and Hunter is not coming back, and Bananas is never showing up to All Stars, and Jordan just won. So who should they have paired her with? I mean, they should have tried harder for Hunter. That would have been great. That would have been super fun. Um, so Nany and Turbo not happy to be beside each other. She apparently unfollowed and blocked him after their last time that they were on the show together. So yeah, no love lost there between them. Beth and Janae, it was a super awkward having them standing side by side. Then Devon and Shane. So Devon is also kind of similar to Frank, turned over a new leaf. She has turned herself over to God. But when she realized she's paired with Shane, she might need holy water, the Bible, everything thrown at her to keep her calm, cool, and collected. How do you feel about this rivalry? We've been excited to see them obviously together. How do you feel like the first little trinkles of their dynamic?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get much of their relationship this episode. I hope I know Devon said she's not going to pop off anymore. I hope that's not accurate. So I hope there is like similar to Frank, like still something in her that will get her to pop off, and maybe Shane is the right man for the job. But yeah, we didn't really get much of Shane and Devon's dynamic this episode. But I'm super excited to see how it unfolds with those two as well.
Amber and Fessy are, partnered together. We obviously know this. She doesn't look very happy about this at all, but she looks gorgeous. Not that she doesn't always, but like she looks exceptionally pretty, I found. Big D and Tori are lined up together. I didn't write down anything, so I guess not much was said between them. Devin and Leroy were reminded that he stabbed him in the back and he's such a shady player. Was it that shady? I don't remember thinking it was that shady at the time, but was it?
No, this is a fake rivalry as well. They just wanted Devin and Leroy on the season. So yeah, there was like nothing major there at all.
Devin says that stabbing him in the back was the best thing that could have happened to Leroy's game. Do you agree with this for Devin? For that Devin said?
I mean, they're a pretty strong team. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. Like they're definitely a team that's like well rounded and like they match each other's like their strengths match each other's weaknesses. So I think they're definitely going to be a solid team, but I don't know if Devin is like necessarily going to have that many friends this season.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like it. We don't get to find out who Katie's rival is, but we see a whole montage of many people that it could be. Was this scene here in that montage, or was that another part of this episode?
Yeah, this scene was there. We had the plunger fight with Sarah Rice was there. We had what was Katie's other big
That would be a
fight?
good team too. I mean, I know we love
Trishelle.
Veronica, but Sarah Rice
Oh,
and
I think Katie and Trishelle would have been awesome here too. Um, and then like Veronica, I honestly I would have loved to see Katie and Trishelle, and then Veronica with Leroy. I think that would have been awesome because Veronica and Leroy, like Veronica could do the strategizing, play the social game. Leroy can be the brawn, and then Katie and Trishelle would have just been really fun and chaotic team there, where they're both like drinking their wine and like there to chill and have a good time, but also like not afraid to get into it with people. So that's kind of what I wish happened. Like I love Veronica and Katie as a team, but I think I would have liked Veronica and Leroy.
Allie doesn't want Sarah Rice. Not she will only do it with Susie, and Allie does. Well, Sarah Rice is not going to be a possibility. And Allie does not want Susie. I want to see Susie. Do we hate
Oh,
Susie?
I do not want to see
What
Susie.
happened? Oh, because of the Zach Nichols podcast.
Oh no, I don't. What happened with Zach Nichols' podcast?
Well, her and Susie went on. They were defending Kenny.
Susie to me just sucks. Like, I'm like rewatching all these seasons of Susie, and she's literally just a
Oh,
lackey to the bananas, Kenny and Evan of it all. Like she is just like no like back in the day at least, like she wasn't really like a girl's girl. She was just a number for Bananas side. and like her on the ruins was like super disappointing. Like that's when like Kellyanne was like part of the people, one of the people going at it with Susie. I really like Susie in my player rankings is like right near the bottom, to be honest. Like she's lower than like Evan and Kenny because at least like they were like hyper strategic and like dominant, and she just kind of hopped along for the ride.
I mean, I haven't seen her in 15 years or so, but like, okay, maybe I have to take a rewatch because I don't remember hating her that much, but maybe I need to see it again. So it's going to be for a prize pot of $300,000. They're told to go and pick a bunk with their rival. I did like seeing the how do they pronounce it? Devory article with Leroy and Devon.
I don't know.
Devor. How did they pronounce it?
Devroy, I guess.
Maybe it was Devroy. Yeah, Devroy. Anyways, I thought it was funny the fact that like that one thing that we like about, or I do anyways, about All Stars is that they make little kitsch things like this article, like putting the vignette in old timey 40s, film version. So I like the Devroy article. We see some of Nicole and Melissa's history. Well, we kind of already talked about it. Anything else that? Oh, we see that Nicole has a girlfriend, but then like I don't really like that she always does this. She's like, "You have a girlfriend at home," but like she's like, "Oh, but Melissa looks good," and she kind of smiles like, something might happen. And I'm like, this is not good. Like, it's not great that you're so comfortable with the fact that you're likely going to cheat on your girlfriend at home. Did you
Yeah.
notice that?
Oh yeah, yeah, I definitely noticed. Yeah, it's kind of weird, like that they even put it in the show. Um, that like that to me, like I wonder if this wasn't like All Stars, if they would even include that in the show. But yeah, I mean, her saying like, "Oh, you're gonna put like a hot blonde girl with fake boobs like next to me. Like, what am I supposed to do?" Like, I mean, you have a girlfriend, you don't really need to do anything. But yeah, it seems like a common theme with Nicole.
Yeah, Gymnast says that the challenge competition was to be faithful. Nicole would lose. I don't think she's ever faithful ever. Ever like she's always like jumping from one relationship to the next and cheating on the last person for the next person. It's unfortunate, but I just would never get involved with Nicole. My goodness. Frank wanted to be a toxic alpha male, and I love seeing like him being able to recognize who he was in the past. I am definitely looking forward to see how he's going to reckon with this as he has his partner fail. Ugh. Nany's already pissed. She was so Sidani here is saying that the way that Nany was already panicking, getting in a bed, and Turbo was just chilling outside. I didn't really understand why she was freaking out so much. Could she not find a bed? Were there not enough beds for everyone? Like why was she panicking?
I don't know. I wonder if like they had to find a living situation with their rival. I wonder if that might be it, where it's like, oh, I can't like settle in until I get my rival into a room. Um, it did seem like all of them were living with like in the same room with their rival. So I wonder if that was it, and if she's just like waiting to unpack and whatnot, and Turbo was just like not allowing her to do it.
That makes a little bit more sense. I'm just like, who cares, Nany? Take a bed and settle in. But if she wasn't allowed to do that until, then that makes way more sense. Beth and Shane were discussing the situation between her and Johnny. You kind of already mentioned this. Shane definitely understands Beth. Beth doesn't seem to get it though. The fact, like, she's the oldest woman on the cast, and she doesn't really seem to get why Johnny would be upset with her. Why she's always in these fights with people. Like, there's just no growth from her in that way, which is what's odd. Because like it's fine to be this volatile person 25 years ago, but she's not physically fit. Like, which I guess she never really was, but she's not physically as fit as she was 25 years ago. And so she's just going to get thrown in. So I don't know why she comes back. She has had no growth and she's not in better physical shape. it's just kind of surprising that she still comes back. I guess if you're getting the call, you're going to say yes, but I don't know. Doesn't she want to actually win?
I mean,
Maybe
she
not.
probably she probably knows deep down she's never gonna win. So, I mean, especially at this point, she's 10 years older than like the next oldest person. So, uh, the odds of her winning are pretty darn low. So I think she is just there to make good TV. And like to what we were talking about earlier, I think like she doesn't really comprehend like what is like good TV and what is like just like
Low,
too
low.
far.
Hmm.
Yeah, so uh Beth, like I love like all the drama girlies, but I can't say like Beth is one of my favorites. Even though she does always provide drama. I've just like never been as big of a Beth guy.
I hear that. Maybe because I was always on Gina's side. Like, like I wanted her to get punched. I didn't, but you know what I'm saying. Janae is also discussing her situation with Beth and what went on with her home life. She was crying in her confessional. She wasn't really even able to compose herself. I don't think this bodes well for them as a group, like a team. The fact that she's not really able to compose herself here, because it will be Janae that kind of leads their team to any sort of victories. It won't be Beth. And so if she can't kind of get it together, I just don't see her doing well. I mean, we didn't see it anyways, but now seeing her on the show, I really don't think they're gonna do well together. Nany does finally go and talk to Turbo. And you know, when they had their conversation, I was actually crying. Were you crying, Matthew?
No, not at all.
Or like a little hint of a tear?
No, what was I supposed to cry about?
I just got really emotional because I could feel that they both actually do care about each other, and how their friendship went down bothered both of them, but they were both not willing to bend. Um and you know, the how much Turbo just has this wall up, um I think is just showing how much he was really hurt because he had let her kind of in, whatever, emotionally. And so I just felt like it was just two people that care about each other a lot that made me cry. Is
Okay.
everything okay? Yes, everything's okay, Kayla. I have a heart sometimes. Jeez Louise. Okay, so you didn't find that emotional, but I actually cried. Beth does go and talk to Janae. She apologizes. Beth wants to win. Janae's kind of going along with it, but in her confessional is saying like she doesn't think that they can do it. And if she doesn't think that they can do it, I don't think it's possible. Who said good teammates versus awkward roomies? Oh, I didn't write it down. Guess it doesn't matter. So at the daily, finally, Veronica enters, and I would have to agree here. Who said it? Someone was saying, yeah, so can we say that about Veronica not coming back in better shape? I was hoping that she would just come back in a little bit better shape because I want her to do well. Um, I'm worried with her and Katie being the tiniest of the tinies and not the fittest of the fit, that they're not going to necessarily bode well. Sophie says Katie and Veronica are both the same height. It's kind of funny. That's what their fight is about. Yeah, they're always like, "You're short." Like, so are you. Matthew's like, "I love it." Okay, so we do learn though with Veronica entering that they won the MTV award for best fight. I wish that they still had all these MTV, like they still do that, right? But it's just not as fun anymore. Or like, are we just too old and we don't watch it? But like, I love those MTV awards.
I don't know. I I just think like MTV in general is just like not that big anymore. So like the MTV Awards, isn't it like I feel like it's kind of like the same as like the Teen Choice Awards now. Um, but I don't, do they do the MTV Awards anymore? How could they? There's like nothing on MTV.
It's just like ridiculousness, like awards for best video, maybe. Do you
Yeah,
know?
I feel like
And
it's like the Teen Choice Awards now.
my BFF Anna actually has won one of those surfboards. She won, I think it was best villain for her work on Shadowhunters. And so one time she was like, she had this like delivery, and she's like, I don't know what this delivery is that I need to go pick up. Like she's racking her brain, like she didn't order anything, she didn't know what it was, and she finally goes and picks up this delivery, and it's a full-size Teen Choice surfboard that she's like, what am I supposed to do with this? So she does have one of those. So there's that. All right, so we learn about how the game is going to go down a little bit. The top 4 teams are going to be the star holders. That's going to be their ticket to the final. Very similar, if not the same as last season. The first daily is called Frenemies, where they're going to be racing in pairs to 3 different checkpoints, and the first 4 pairs are going to be the ones that get the stars. Checkpoint number 1 is a mud pit, where you have to transfer mud through a mud pit over to another side to a container, and once you fill your container, you move on to the next checkpoint, which is the ice transfer. So with 2 spoons, or a spoon to each partner and an ice cube, they have to bring enough ice cubes back to fill up the water, or make the ice cube come to above the line. And then after that, they have to ball lance gurneys. So they have 4 balls on a gurney, and then they have to be transporting sandbags without dropping the balls. And that's how they win. Did you love how Fessy was showing how strong he was by like putting mud on Amber and then just carrying Amber through the mud? You love it? So strong.
Fine, I guess.
So strong. But
I
they
didn't
were
I
the
didn't
first
love how
person.
I didn't love how the 2 winning teams here were the 2 male teams, which like it wasn't like a strictly physical challenge, but there was like a level of like physicality, and then also just like having 2 like bigger dudes like be able to like carry the mud like seemed to definitely help. So I didn't love that. I like that, which is also why I don't like necessarily love when it's in like different gendered pairs competing against each other. I kind of, part of me wishes, like I do like a lot of these pairs, but just for like fairness and like best possible eliminations and dailies, I kind of wish it was like male female only. Uh, yeah, kind of a yeah. Honestly, Adam like would have been awesome on season 4. There's so many like I would have made so many changes to the season 40 cast. I think Adam would have been so good there.
Sudani says, I agree about it not being fair. Yeah, so we've been talking about that, and a lot of people are like, oh, they'll do things that's going to equalize it. I'm like, they never really do. Just like if the 2 male teams are taller and have longer legs, they will just get done faster, even if it's not like running faster, like if they walk at the same pace, they'll get to the other side faster just because their legs are longer. So just even that alone, or their heights might be more similar, which is easier to maneuver certain things when you're at the same height ish. So yeah, definitely. I didn't love that it was very clear that the male teams were going to do better this challenge. So that was a pain in my butt. Okay, so Leroy and Devin, though, are in second place here. I really thought it was hilarious, the romance music with Dario and Ashley as they're doing the challenge together. She's saying that she likes him to take the lead, and him saying that she doesn't let him take the lead. And like, so the little banter is I'm feeling it. I like it. Steve and Adam do move on, and they get first place. Leroy and Devin second place. And then Ashley and Dario do end up getting third place, and it's going to be a race between Nany and Turbo versus Big T and Corey, which I was very proud of Big T here for being in contention of getting fourth place and being of the top 4 teams. But in the end, Nany and Turbo do get their star. Do you know what, though? I think this could be better for Big T and Corey potentially, because they, out of all those, well, maybe Ashley and Dario, but between Ashley and Dario and them and Corey, those would be the teams that people would likely want to go up against to get their stars. So it could be a blessing in disguise that they don't have one early on because people just would keep targeting them. Uh, Poor Frank, though, I said, doesn't know how to talk about Sam in his confessional. He's just like, I don't know how to be nice. What do you say? She's not. She's just. She gassed out. She was gassed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I think like right now he's like trying and trying, but like 3 episodes from now when they're still coming in last in every daily, like is he gonna be able to keep his cool? Like I doubt it. And like I don't necessarily blame him. Like I if like he on paper is like arguably the strongest person there, and if he's gonna be losing every daily because his partner, like eventually like anyone would kind of lose it, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, no competitive people don't like to lose, and so yeah, it'll be very hard for him to hold that in for much longer. Devin and Leroy want Steve and Adam gone. So is it going to be the battle of these brawny men? Wouldn't you think, though, that they should want to keep them in there? Because if they're the only male team, like I would just be wanting to get them out of there. Or I would try to put the two male teams against each other. So do you think that's why they want to get Steve and Adam out, is because they don't want to be targeted against them?
No,
Oh wait, but no,
I
the
think they're more
person going
threatened
into the
by them.
stand is the one that picks their partner, right? Or their opponent. So that would never
Uh,
be the case, right? That two people would be specifically targeted against each other.
why would they? How do we know they get to pick their opponent?
Isn't that what they did last season? I'm just speculating.
No, I don't think I don't think that's what it was last
How did it
season.
go then? I thought that they didn't call down somebody.
Uh, I think last season there was like one person was going in, and then there was two nominees, and they might have got to choose between the two nominees. I can't really remember,
I
honestly. I
can't
feel like
remember
All
either.
Stars 4
And
was
also
so
there was
long
like a
ago.
couple different format changes in 40 that I might be conflating.
39, they got to call in their opponent at the beginning, but I think All Stars 4, I don't think they did. I could be wrong. There was that one point where Veronica got called in by Nicole, but then Veronica convinced Nicole to go against Jasmine instead. So I oh no. I'm pretty sure what it was is like if you won the daily, you could choose to go in and replace one of the two nominees to get a star. Like if you wanted to go for a star, you could choose to go in if you won the daily. But I'm pretty sure the people that went into elimination were just voted in. I don't think it was like call someone out unless you're volunteering to go in. Then you could call out one of the two people that were going in.
And so do you think then the only reason why they want them out is that they're formidable opponents for the final?
Yeah, I think they're just like threatened by them, and they probably feel like they're set up nicely anyways, that even if they're the only male team, that like they won't get targeted. So they probably just want like, the strong team out.
So then everybody's having this split or steal conversation. This is after the daily. Um, Back at the house, Nany says that she would lose on purpose if she thought that her partner was going to potentially steal the money at the end. Do you think that this is going to be part of the season?
I mean, I don't know why else they would show like so much of it this early. And if it's like a topic of conversation, I feel like it probably will come into play at the end. And I mean, we have seen it come into play for the previous two rival seasons, so or the last two rival seasons. So I would guess yes, that I do think it's going to come back into play.
Do you think that Nany and Turbo could get to the end? Nany thinks that her and Turbo had men fences, and Turbo ends up taking the money from Nany.
I could definitely see. I think he would take the money. I mean, even like a lot of people tonight said they would take the money. I think Fessy said he would take it from Amber. But I mean, so far we're 2 for 2. The winner has always taken the money from the loser. So we've yet to see them actually split the money.
Man. Oh, I really, really, really would feel for Nany if that's the case. Unless Nany came out in front and took the money from him. No, I don't think she would do that though. I think Nany would split it. Turbo might steal it.
I don't think
Yikes.
not. I think Nany would. I honestly think Nany would keep it too.
Man, wait, I kind of think that Nany's going out like Hunter. Oh my god, this is okay. I mean, this will be dramatic. Yeah, I could see Corey stealing the money.
See, I
Well,
don't
no,
know
but I
about
think he
that.
wants to amend his public perception.
Yeah, I think Corey would actually split the money.
Turbo's taking that cash. Turbo likes to get his lick back. Yeah. Yeah. I kind of doesn't think Nany's stealing the money. So Nany and Turbo at the end of the episode are just talking about being a target, for the fact that they have their star this early. Turbo basically says that if they get to the final, they're winning. I feel like they're getting to this final. I feel like this is building a season around them at this point. Um, it's all about won't they get along, or won't they split the money? Yikes. But it should be a fun season. Devin thinks that Turbo is a loose cannon, and so I still think that they're going to get to the end. Do you think that this bodes well for them, like the edit for them, or do you think that they might fizzle out quickly?
I think it's just way too early. Like I could see this going so many different ways. I don't see any way Turbo like is able to be like calm all season. So I definitely think he's gonna rub people the wrong way. I don't think Nany is gonna be able to like completely save Turbo. So I do like I could see them getting to the final for sure. I could see them winning. I could see them also flaming out. Like I could see Turbo like losing his shit in like 2 episodes and they get thrown into an elimination because they piss everyone off. Yeah, it's just so early and like Turbo is just he's so unhinged that like it could look good now, but all it takes is someone saying the wrong thing to him and he's just gonna lose his mind and Nany won't be able to save him. So yeah, I agree. I think they're going to be like a big focal point of the drama, but I'm not ready to say like they're my front runner to win.
No, I don't think. I think they're gonna. I feel like how this episode has gone down, and it kind of ends with them talking. I do feel that they're gonna at least get to the end of the season. I don't know if they're going to win though, but I do feel like there's a lot of the season's going to be about their journey. For me, that's what I think, but I could be completely wrong. Who knows? All right, the last thing before we sign off is who is our MVP team this week?
Are we doing teams or individual?
Yeah, we're doing teams, and that's for 5 points.
Hmm. I mean, Nany and Turbo got a lot of airtime. I think Adam and Steve were fun. More so Adam than Steve, though, I will say. I did like Steve, but I think Adam was a little bit more fun. Um, I mean, Ashley and Dario were fun, like in more of like a cute way, but I'd probably say Turbo and Nany, like they had like a lot of airtime, and they did close the episode with them too. I think Katie was fun too, but like Veronica was only in half the episode and didn't really have much. Ashley and Anissa didn't have too much. Yeah, I'd say like just based off airtime alone, it's got to be Turbo and Nany.
And even in like the scenes from the next episodes, whatever, there was quite a bit of Nany and Turbo content. So I will agree with you that our MVPs, each getting 5 points, will be Turbo and Nany. That's fun. Well, we did it. We got our first episode. Any last thing you want to say about what we watched, what's to come, your thoughts?
I'm really excited and I hope I have a feeling we're gonna get a bit of a like old school versus new school kind of vibe this season. And I think that is going to be like super interesting as well, especially for like people that have played a lot of seasons with the new school and old school, like someone like Anissa, who's partners with Ashley, and Ashley's like part of the Lavender Ladies, like more like old schooly. But then like Anissa is part of the Vacation Alliance with Devin and Fessy. So I'm kind of excited to see how it all unfolds there. I could definitely see like some of these OGs wanting to like show the new guys who's boss, and like vice versa, like people like Fessy and Amber wanting to show like that they're like as good or better than the OGs. So I'm excited to see how that unfolds, and I do think that's going to be a pretty big theme throughout.
That's actually awesome. And I think that it will play out better than season 40 did. It was an old school versus new school in a way, but the format didn't lend to a little bit more nuance and a little bit more fluidity in it. And so I do think that this format, the old school new school thing, will work a little bit better because people in the partnerships will have some different alliances that will help either keep them afloat or push them to one side or the other. But I think it will be, yeah, I definitely think it'll be an interesting journey this season.
Yeah, and I think the
Yay.
number one thing that's going to stand out against like the one thing about the season that I can guarantee will be better than season 40 is that on season 40, like a lot of the old school players and new school players really were constantly like volunteering to go into either elimination or to be a target for elimination. And it's because like a lot, to Jordan's point at the reunion, a lot of these like people were kind of like yes man, and they were kind of yes men. And on All Stars 5, like these people are way more selfish in a good way, and they're never like you're never going to see Shane or Veronica or Ashley nominate themselves to go into elimination unless it's to get a star and it's like a requirement. Whereas on season 40, it's like every week the fun was getting sucked out because it was just volunteer, 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 and there was no like cutthroatness. Where I think in this season you're gonna have to be cutthroat because you're not gonna have people volunteering and making it easy on you.
Yay. Fun. Well, thanks, Matthew, for recapping this episode with me. Thanks, everybody in the chat, for hanging out with us. I think it's going to be this time. Like, how do you feel about this time? Or do you want to, for the future, watch it on? No, you don't want to watch it on MTV because Slice is doing it better. And we're just praying that Slice does it at 8 so that we can just go live at 9, which would be ideal. That would be ideal. But if this is what we have to do, then that is what we have to do. But you could also just subscribe and like this video. Let us know how you think the season's going so far. No actual spoilers, just your thoughts and your hopes for the season. Who's your favorite duo so far? Do you agree with our MVP being Nany and Turbo? Let us know. Thanks for being here. It's great because you guys are here with us. Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, chat. Thanks, everybody.